It is so easy to weaponize those analytics and use those as a way to get what we want. And if we really don't understand what that psychology is and where we're taking people, we can certainly take an organization in the wrong direction.
So have you had any examples where, you've gone in, because I know you've traveled the country, you've met with every kind of company from manufacturing to retail to just about every industry that there is out there. Has there been a time when they've asked you to use data in a way that may not even be a great way to use it and you had to kind of push back against it maybe?
Yeah, I had an opportunity present itself, and this was many years ago, a casino, out-of-state casino, come to me, and they had asked if we could build them a real-time measurement tool to get and look at slot machines. And they wanted to look at the number of pulls that were made on every slot machine in a live basis for any users. And so you can envision, there's 100 people on the floor and they slide their card in, so we know who that person is now. We know that they've pulled 14 times, and we also know that they haven't won yet. They wanted us to understand the threshold of every person and when we thought that person would leave a slot machine because they hadn't won in time. And so their idea was they wanted a manager walking around live with an iPad in his hand so that he could monitor and see red flashing lights of who do I need to bring their favorite drink so that they will forget that they haven't won in a while and keep pulling that slot. That was an opportunity that I turned down. It was too easy for me to visualize a family member or a family friend sitting there and being taken advantage of. And so there's a lot of opportunities where we can see where data can be used in a poor way. And I see it in the news every day, probably.